afternoon, guardians. My name is Mr. Chabalala. I'm an English educator here at Lindsay High. I'm not alone. With me are my fellow educators who will introduce themselves shortly. The reason for this meeting is to address issues relating to discipline in our school. We are a school that prides itself on promoting values such as academic excellence, good morals, good behavior, and mutual respect. It is unfortunate, however, that even with these values at heart, issues such as bullying, sexual harassment, and disrespect remain prevalent among our learners. Issues such as lack of professionalism, corporal punishment, and defiance are also prevalent among our teachers. Now, drawing from the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and applicable legislation, our aim today is to inform you of these issues, procedures, legislation, and support systems that we have in place in order to successfully mitigate these issues. According to Section 8 of the South African Schools Act 84 of 1996, teachers are responsible for ensuring that learners feel safe and emotionally at ease in order for them to acquire self-discipline and accountability for their actions. All teachers must provide a setting where learners are guided towards a mindset of respect, empathy, and consideration for others. We will also share with you our list of role players concerning the disciplining of both our learners and teachers. Thank you.
Good day, parents, guardians, and my fellow colleagues. I am Ms. Sebageng, and I'm also an educator here at Lincoln High. As my colleagues have previously mentioned, that our focus for today is on disciplinary issues. My focus will be on sexual harassment. One might be wondering, what is it that we're talking about when we talk of sexual harassment? Sexual harassment is any unwanted behavior that makes someone feel offended in any possible way. It can also be referred to as sexual violence. I will also be looking into what certain policies say about this disciplinary issue, supports that may be required in order to mitigate this issue successfully, and also role players concerning this disciplinary issue. There are quite a number of policies that exist when it comes to this disciplinary issue. Just to name a few, we have the South African Constitution, we have South African Schools Act, Children's Act, National Education Policy Act, and South African Council of Educators. All these policies are important, but I will only explain one for the sake of time, which is the South African Constitution Act, because I think it talks about the school as a whole. According to Section 8 of South African Schools Act, school governing body of a school must adopt a code of conduct for learners after consultation with learners, parents, and education of the school. It stipulates that all learners attending a school are bound by the code of conduct of that school. It further provides that the minister may establish guidelines for the consideration of the school governing body in adopting a code of conduct. Pursuant to this provision, guidelines for the consideration of governing bodies in adopting a code of conduct for learners were published in 1998. Section 8 of the Act stipulates that the code of conduct referred to in Section 1 must inform learners of conduct that is permissible and conduct that is prohibited, advise learners on the grievance procedures, and follow due processes during disciplinary hearings. Moving on to the supports that are needed to mitigate this issue successfully, we can start by forming groups to help those who have experienced sexual harassment. We can also draw up learners' code of conduct in order for them to also have it into their attention. And we can make a list of organizations that provide support and advice to people who have experienced sexual harassment within the school. We can also put up the list on the school notice board in classrooms so anyone can find it. Moving on to role players when it comes to this disciplinary issue, The school as a whole plays a role concerning this discipline, and we have school-based support teams, we have the principal, school governing body, school managing teams, educators, learners, and you as parents and guardians. From the above list that I have mentioned, each team or each person plays a specific role regarding this disciplinary issue. For the sake of time, I'll just give one role for each, and if there's anyone who would like to know more of other roles, you are more than welcome to come forward and ask questions. The school support team are responsible for the range of support intervention required. The principal ensures that learners and school staff are familiar with all the protocols pertaining the issue. School governing bodies ensures that the school safety committee is familiar with what the school code of conduct say about the issue. The school managing teams ensure that the person affected receives all the necessary support that is needed in order to overcome this issue. Educators must make sure that they provide a safe and private space for the learners to disclose all the details of the incident. This is in a case whereby the learner is affected, and learners should report any suspicious incident to the relevant person or team, and the parents or guardians should support the implementation of all the protocols that are introduced by the school. Thank you.
Teachers, I am Mdlalose, your kid's favorite teacher. Today I'll be speaking about corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, in a simple term, is a physical punishment that is intended to inflict pain or cause a minor physical harm to a minor, or in a classroom context, a learner or the teacher feels has done something that is punishable. Teachers use a stick, the ruler, or the pie to punish learners through the methods that include caning, spanking, or paddling. However, the Abolition of Corporal Punishment Act number 33 of 1996 banned the use of corporal punishment in schools. And learners who are still victims with the right procedures in place may report this type of punishment or even press charges against the teachers who are still using this type of punishment. The banning of this type of punishment in South African schools intended to prevent violence against children. Despite the abolition of this type of punishment in some schools, especially in rural areas or township areas, they still opt for corporal punishment to instill discipline, which is against the South African Schools Act number 84 of 1966, which is part of the regulations and safety measures at public schools. And it states that no person is allowed to have dangerous objects in school's premises that may be used to cause bodily harm to another person. An incident where the child ends up becoming a victim of corporal punishment. The disciplinary committee are role players in solving cases like that and making sure that the teachers align with the schools and the schools with the government goals. Thank you.
Parents, guardians, my name is Ms. Takeng and I am an economics educator here at Lindley High. Our first priority in addressing disciplinary issues is to tackle the problem of bullying. According to the National School Safety Framework, school violence encompasses any act of violence that occurs on school grounds. This can manifest in various forms, both physical and non-physical, and may result in physical and emotional harm to the victim. School violence can occur between students, teachers, or both, and can cause significant disruption to the school environment. The most common type of school violence is bullying, which involves intentionally and repeatedly harming someone, either physically or mentally, by one or more individuals. The Children's Act of 2005 was enacted to protect the rights of children to ensure safety and care as enshrined in the Constitution. One of its primary aims is to eradicate bullying in schools. At our school, we take a zero-tolerance approach to bullying. and bullies will be held accountable for their actions. We will follow the necessary procedures to address the issue promptly and appropriately. The Protection from Harassment Act of 2011 is a legal framework that strongly advocates for the rights of bullying victims. It empowers those who have been subjected to bullying for a protection order against their perpetrators. We will not hesitate to enforce the necessary measures to protect our students from any form of bullying. To ensure the safety and well-being of our students, it is important to follow the following procedures when reporting and dealing with the incidents of bullying. Firstly, report the incident to the relevant head of department or the Department of Counseling, regardless of who the incident was reported to. The HODs and the counselors will collaborate to handle the issue. The HODs will take any necessary disciplinary action and may escalate the issue to the head of discipline if needed. Both the victim and the bully will be called separately to provide additional information about the alleged incident. Support will be provided to both parties to prevent future incidents of bullying. If bullying persists, parents will be notified and involved in the support process, and external organizations may also be recommended. Depending on the severity of the bullying, disciplinary actions such as suspension or expulsion may be taken. This will be determined on a case-by-case basis. It is crucial to understand the roles and responsibilities of stakeholders as per the regulations for safety measures at public schools. Learners must strictly adhere to the code of conduct and report any incidents of alleged bullying without delay. Failure to comply with the code of conduct will result in the school taking decisive and appropriate measures against the perpetrators. Parents hold a significant responsibility in preventing and addressing bullying. They must model the right behavior at home and report any bullying incidents using the correct procedures. If a bullying incident occurs outside the school premises, parents should take immediate action to ensure their children's safety, including contacting the local police. The school responsible for dealing with bullying incidents that occur on school grounds and during school hours. All school staff must ensure a safe, secure, and child-friendly environment for learners. Teachers and support staff should provide adequate supervision to ensure learners' safety and address bullying in class and at school. The South African Constitution protects every child from maltreatment, from neglect, abuse, or degradation. Our school upholds these rights and will take necessary measures to protect students. The school's responsibility is to increase adult supervision in schoolyard, halls, and toilets and enforce consequences for aggressive behavior consistently and immediately. It is vital to emphasize the consequences of harming others and create a safe, secure, and child-friendly environment for all learners.
Good day, parents, guardians, and teachers. My name is Miss Ndambo, and I am a history teacher here at Lily High School. Today, I'm going to address the issue of disrespect. Students being disrespectful to teachers and parents has been more prominent recently. Student respect has been on the decline in our school. Respect has dropped from 81% to 21% in our school, and we need to restore respect for authority to its rightful place. The South African School Act of 1996 have allowed schools to govern themselves. Therefore, our school has its own code of conduct. This is based in many principles that learners must follow. Respect is one of many that our learners must practice within and outside the school premises. However, not only learners must adopt this code of conduct, but also the governing body. As it is stated on Section 9 of SASSA that the governing body of a public school must adopt a code of conduct for the learners after consultation with the learners and educators of the school. Therefore, all learners attending a school are bound by the code of conduct of the school, as it is stated in the SASSA Act of 1996. In any case, these learners are disrespectful will be disciplined based on Chapter 9 of SASSA, where the learner will undergo suspension and exclusion from a public school. However, the school will discipline learners following Section 8, subsection 5A of SASSA 1996. That states that code of conduct must also provide for support measures or structures for counseling a learner. involved in disciplinary proceeding. This will include one-on-one session where the learner will receive counseling before disciplinary and get all the support they need before, during, and after the disciplinary. The purpose of this policy is to foster a culture of mutual respect in an orderly and safe environment. Thank you.
Dear parents or guardian, my name is Ms. Mutawu. Teachers never refer to their theories or research in education. Instead, they refer to their own childhood, personal experience, common sense, and personal emotion when teaching students. According to the function and responsibility of principal in public school, Act 57 of 2001, when teachers continue to lack professionalism, the issue must be reported to the school principal since he or she is an educator appointed or acting as a head of the school. When the the principal must monitor teachers' professionalism regularly to prepare and submit to the head of the department annually report of academic performance. When the issue is beyond the principal, the matter can be escalated to the department for further solutions. Discrimination of language can be reported to the governing body of the school to ensure there is no unfair discrimination in any official languages that are offered as a subject according to the Act 15 of 2001 of non-discrimination in respect of official languages. When teachers continue to do things on their own way, they must be reported to the governing body of the school according to the Code of Conduct, Act 31 of 2002. And it is aimed at establishing the disciplined and purposeful school environment dedicated in the improvement and maintenance of the quality of learning. Role players, parents must always ensure that their learners are being taught professionally and they also have a good behavior towards their tutors. Whenever learners is going through disciplinary hearings, he or she must be accompanied by a parent at disciplinary proceeding according to Act number 50 of 2002. Teachers must always try to be professional when it comes to their teaching method. Focus more on the content, curriculum, and assessment. They should avoid favoritism, laziness, and not have good communication skills with their learners in the classroom. Learners must always respect their teachers to avoid corporal punishment and unacceptable behavior in the classroom, which may lead to the disruption of learning activities. Learners should address any of the issues to the teacher in a polite manner. Thank you.
Dear parents, it is our responsibility as teachers to make sure that our learners feel safe whenever they are in these school premises. In her 2023 master's dissertation, Florence Nene finds that ill discipline contributes to learners being unable to reach their full learning potential and, in worst cases, school dropout. Now, thanks to these faculties and facilities that we have in place, myself and my colleagues are able to successfully mitigate these issues successfully in order to ensure a safe environment for our learners. Thank you and good morning.